driving. Had to go take care of some stuff. So anyways, yeah, just driving back from getting some stuff done for the military. I gotta drive down and go to a course this weekend for that in Arkansas, so that should be fun. Oh man, I've just got a lot on my brain today. Was up half the night thinking about kids and just life, you know what I mean? So I listened to the Owen Benjamin live this afternoon where he's getting all up in his feels, reading his letters from his breastfed's brother and from that mom. That's really cool stuff actually, but props for the way he handled that. But he got into talking about how he believes his friend is in heaven or whatever. And the only thing I really have to say about that is, like, we don't really know how that's judged. It's hard to take that into account. We don't know people's hearts or whether they knew Jesus or didn't. Like, I always go back to Paul. I think it's in Corinthians somewhere where he says that even those that don't know about God, their conscience bears witness to the fact that if they were following the law, that they would just be justified in that by their conscience. So that by that, the Holy Spirit is your conscience, is what I believe. And by following that you could be following the law, and the law is justified unto you in that way. So it's kind of a weird, convoluted thing, but that basically you can know Christ without ever having somebody present Christ to you and be following it and still be justified in that way. So again, it's not up to us to judge whether somebody is or is not waiting for the resurrection, is the way I'll put it. I haven't gotten into like my belief on heaven, quote unquote. Like, I don't believe in heaven as in a place where we're all just going to go and hang out with God someday. That I don't see that as a reality posed in the Bible. It talks about how we are in Abraham's bosom until the resurrection. And it just is, it's kind of a weird construct, but the heavens, the way heaven is always mentioned in the Bible, is always Shemayim. It's the place where God dwells, but it's not ever a place where we're dwelling. Like, if you look at the New Jerusalem, and the way it's presented, it is lowered down out of the heavens onto earth, and we dwell with Christ there, and a new heavens and a new earth is created. The way the Bible seems to me to be translating it is that it's created here, out of what remains here. I don't have any proof of that, but I also don't see any justification for a place called heaven where we're just going to hang out with our families. And, you know, it says that there's no husbands, no wives in heaven, are, you know, in that future, like, kingdom of God. That's what the Bible talks about, is promoting the kingdom of God, not being saved so that you can go to heaven. Christ, when he walked the earth, he was all about promoting the kingdom of God and the kingdom of his Father. So there's that aspect of things. So that's all I really got out of it today. My thoughts have just been elsewhere today, and listening to videos on CERN, and that's like just a crazy jumbled mess. I'm really curious as to what they're accomplishing, or think they're accomplishing through that, and trying to, I mean, I can see definitely end times stuff as to why they would want to do that, and I'm kind of in the same place with that, as Owen Benjamin. Like, I don't know if we're living in the end times. Like, it's sure we could say that, but I mean, the apostles thought they were living in the end times, and so have many other people throughout when Jesus walked the earth, and now, like, everybody like has thought at one point or another that they were living the end times. So I don't know. It is kind of vanity to think that, oh yeah, we are the last generation. Like, a lot of things make sense, but I mean, you can take just about any time period in history and say that it could have fit that narrative, or that there was an antichrist. So I mean, there's no way to know for sure, but I mean, we should always be living our lives in a way that would benefit God and would benefit our relationship with God and growing stronger and benefiting the kingdom together, doing the things that God told us to do. Like, you should be living that way regardless of whether you think it's the end times or not. And my viewpoint on evangelism is different than other people. We're to be known by our love for people and specifically by our infighting in the church and like the different denominations and everybody looking at that as seeing God. In order for us to be persecuted, I think that this movement of people coming to true faith and actually walking out reality and real faith and real people that have come to know God, I really believe that that's going to explode, and it's going to become a threat. It's going to be so massive of a movement of people coming back to the one true God and actually living and walking in real faith, that people are literally going to persecute us because we're going to get too big and they're going to be afraid of us, and it's going to be like Exodus all over again, where they were just like, man, these guys are getting so powerful. If we don't do something about it, we're gonna lose everything. Like, these people are going to take over our country, and I really think it's going to get back to that again before the end of things happen. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But anyways, like, the more I thought about it too today, to get onto the Lego movie, and again, actually, I'll talk about the other thing first, so if you don't want me to spoil the Lego movie for you or your kids or whatever, that's fine. I'll talk about that last, so you can skip that part if you want to. But, I had a conscience attack last night. Like, my kids, I'm trying to teach them responsibility and time management and money management, and I'm trying to teach them things that I never got taught as a kid. Like, my parents just kind of let us do whatever we want. My dad was kind of a tyrannical dictator when I was a kid. So I don't want to be that guy. And so I'm, doing Bible study with my kids like I do every night, and we're reading. And I tried a new thing. I tried having, I tried doing the audiobook Bible and seeing if they'd listen to it, and they couldn't answer any of my questions. They didn't know what so they were just goofing off all night, and then they didn't do their stuff before they got in bed, and I was just frustrated with it because I had stuff to do, and so I kind of, went off the handle. Anyhow, I have no idea if it says it's still recording up to 10 minutes and something, so hopefully I get this. But anyways, I'm giving them a stern talking to, and I felt like a piece of crap because I hey, do better for me or whatever, and they're like, yeah, okay, we'll do better for you, Dad, we love you, and I'm like, yeah, I know. And I go to kiss everybody goodnight. My son's upset. My other son's just like, yeah, whatever. And he goes to sleep. My daughter is like sucking on her thumb and has a tear rolling down her cheek because she just feels like a piece of crap because she hates disappointing me. And it's just like, that picture just ripped me up inside. I could not sleep because like that face. So of course I talked to my wife this morning. I'm like, babe, am I being too hard on him? And she's like, yes and no. Like, they're not going to get this time management stuff. Like, you're teaching them, but just be a little bit more gentle with them, and they'll be okay. They just want to please you, and like just make it easy for them to please you, without giving up the hard line, obviously. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then we're trying to teach them money management. With 4 kids, we try to give them like $15 a piece. So that's $120 a month or whatever that I'm giving my kids, which is basically a lot of my spending money because I'm not a rich person at all. I'm kind of in limbo right now with my money and jobs because like I was supposed to go active duty Air Force, and that kind of has not really come to fruition. And then I'm trying to get this job with the Guard and do work full time for them, and that's a decent paying job, but that's not really coming through fast. And like, so I just got a lot of like limbo going on right now with money. So I'm working this kind of dead end job, building a fish farm for one of my friends, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now, which is, it pays the bills, but I don't have a lot of extra money. So I'm trying to do that, but then like we want to spoil our kids, and I just want to give them everything because they're the best kids in the whole world. And I know everybody says that about their kids, but like if you met my kids, like they're polite, they're nice, they treat each other well, they treat other people well, they really do exemplify love. Like they're really, really good kids. So I just want to give them everything, and I can't, and it just drives me crazy, and it drives my wife crazy because she works hard, she runs her own business, she makes little girls leotards, and she's really, really good, good at that. So if you want to go check her out, it's leotunes.com. I will shamelessly plug my wife forever because she's amazing and I love her. But we want to give them everything, but I can't. So I'm trying to teach them and like how to spend money and budget money and justify, you know. But I still just want to give them everything. So it's like, do I just give them everything, or like, do I teach them to save? Like, I want to be better, you know, at that. But it's like I'm limited to what I make right now, which kind of stinks. And I'm also trying to completely get out of debt so I can move somewhere backwoods and start my own, you know, small life. And I'll do a video on that. Maybe that's what I'll talk about tomorrow or something. It's just like my thoughts for the future and what I want to accomplish with that and everything. So, but yeah, so I mean, I had a really late night about that, and I just want to be a better dad and husband always. Like I always feel like I have room to improve, and I feel like a crappy human being some days because I, you know, make my kids cry when I'm rebuking them and telling them to be better at life. And they're just kids, and they're so great, and I just feel terrible for it sometimes. But I mean, maybe it's not all bad. I just try to improve myself. I don't ever think that I'm done improving in life, because if you do, then you are probably done with life. So there's that. And like the other thing that I wanted to hit right before I get done with this, because I want to keep it pretty short, because I want it to be something that you can just kind of watch here and there, or, you know, watch a bunch of them if you want to, and it's not like a super long, super drawn out, like I have to watch 15 of these things that are 25 hours long. Just quick little snippets of what I'm thinking and what I'm doing for the day, or like, you know, what's on my mind. But so I'm thinking more about the Lego Movie 2, and for those of you that don't want spoilers, you should probably just go ahead and just stop watching right now, because I'll end right after I get done talking about the Lego Movie. And so in this movie, there's the queen is like queen whatever I want to be, and she can change shapes and be whatever she wants to be. And to me, it just like completely screams like LGBTQF, whatever acronym they want to keep pushing it to. But that's what it is. And then she's going to marry Batman. And I got to thinking about this, and like Batman represents all this dark, brooding nastiness. So you got this basically trans pan whatever character that's like, I'm gonna marry Batman, who's this dark brooding. It just so reminded me of like this whole millennial idea of like, I can be whatever I want to be, and you can be dark and brooding, and we can be whatever we want to be together. And it's like, no, you can't. You're a guy and a girl, you get married, you have babies, because that's the whole point of it. But the second half of it is like, you have this queen whatever I want to be that's going to marry Batman, but she coerces Batman through trickery and deceit into thinking that he wants to marry her. And I'm like, what kind of idealism is this? Like, she's like, yeah, I'm going to marry Bats. And he's like, and then like she's having this conversation with this other character where he's like, well, how are you going to get him to marry you? He's not into marrying you. He just wants to be this single bachelor all his life and, you know, be dark and brooding. And she's like, yeah, I'm queen whatever I want to be. Don't worry, I got this. I can convince him to marry me. And then he's all like, I'm never marrying you. And she's like, oh yeah, well, I'm not into guys like you. And so it's like this whole paradox of like, I'm not into guys like you. And so she like mind ninjas him into wanting to marry him. And it's like, what is this? Like, what is this teaching my kids when I'm letting them watch this? Like, I don't want them to think that this whole, it's like, and like, to be personal, like with my sister, like my sister is a practicing homosexual. Like, she is a lesbian, and I do not support her lifestyle. And I've made it abundantly clear that I don't support her lifestyle. And I'm like, look, it's against God. Like, I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to disown you. I'm not going to stop talking to you, but you have to understand that I disagree with your lifestyle stance. That's my right as an American and living in this country and as a Christian to tell you that I don't agree with you. I don't have to support what you support, and I don't have to support your agenda, and I'm not going to have you come to my house and tell my children that your lifestyle is okay. That's not okay with me. Like, if you're going to come to my house and you're going to follow rules, like, that's just the way it works. And my sister has, weirdly enough, been pretty receptive to that up until recently. And then it's just like, no, feminism, like, you have to agree with my life. I'm going to push this in your face. And I'm like, well, then you're not coming to my house. Like, you're not teaching my kids that's okay. And that's just my hard line. Like, I took that. And with my brother, he was a Marine, got blown up, and came back, had all kinds of TBI and stuff. And now he thinks he's a girl. And I refuse to cave to that. And I'm like, because of all the psychological brainwashing and everything that they put him through, like, now he thinks he's a girl, and I'm like, hell no, I'm not dealing with that. Like, no, I'm not gonna. You can think you're a girl, that's fine. You can think you're a girl all you want to, but you cannot change my view of who you are. Like, I know who you are. You've been my brother your whole life. I've grown up with you. Like, you cannot change who I am to be who you are. Like, that doesn't work for me. Like, you either are who you are or you're not. Like you are, I have a pre-established view of who you are. You're a dude. You're my brother. You have a dick. You have to, like, I'm not caving and saying that you're a girl. Well, I'm just going to get a sex change operation. Well, go ahead, but you're still my brother, and you always will be in my mind, because I'm not going to cave to this level of stupidity. Like, I'm just not going to do it. So, like, that's the whole thing that it reminded me of, is like this, let's make it acceptable for people to just be whoever they want to be, and then it's okay to be these, and it, like, in the whole message of it, I'm just like, wow, this is really sick. Like, and I couldn't get it out of my head today, so I just had to get it out, where other people could comment or do whatever. And I appreciate people watching this stuff, and I appreciate all the comments and everything, and hopefully more people join in. And I want to get to much more complex things, but that's just what's on my brain today. And we'll get into more later on as time goes by. And if you ever want me to cover a topic or anything, just let me know in the comments, and I will definitely do it, because I am all about researching new stuff and just stating my opinion on it. That's pretty much all I got for today. So enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later. Please like, subscribe, and do all that nonsense or whatever, and I will talk to you guys later.